So we cleaned up all the pollution from the 60s and 50s. That stuff is still around.
Right.
I mean, I recently wrote a piece on this. I mean, you look at Torch Lake and the Upper Peninsula, it looks beautiful. 1/5 of the volume of that lake is toxic sludge. Yeah, I mean, you go there. There is pink slurpy. Torch Lake, the Upper Peninsula, not the one.
But we,
There are like places there, like pink slurpy of heavy metals in there, and they say we can't clean it up. There's too much of it.
But
There's no place to put it.
Yeah, that's basically the answer to the question.
You can call me Gretchen.
It's too big, we can't
Too
do
big,
anything.
yeah.
Gretchen, isn't part of the problem though that the idea that all regulation is bad, so we're just going to disassemble
Well,
it,
okay,
and
but local
then
can't
we're not
afford
even going to
Yeah, so I mean, that's the reason that there wasn't more testing done is because the EPA is very limited to what they can do. And then the DEQ, we've been having so many budget cuts, they've had 25% cut in their staff. And, you know,
they must have had more regulations 60 years ago.
They did. That's what happened.
well, 60, I don't know, 60 years ago, it was probably, that was right when they were getting tight, they were tightening it up. Yeah, because that Silver Spring came
Yeah,
out.
but since
Not
then,
Silver Spring, Silent Spring. Teamwork Coffee.
When John Anderson came on board, he created
One of the things
something
I
called
find frustrating is just it seems like people complain about too much government, but I see a lot of these government's hamstrung.
So the DEQ
Like,
was
it can't, you
essentially
don't want too much, but
tool
it has to address major problems, and that's not happening.
Well, there's
Because
limits,
no one can say, okay,
the
we gotta go, we
DEQ could work
gotta
his
attack.
agenda was
Well, partly that's because local revenue sharing for local laws, it's been really useful because the government has actually cut it back in.
But also, I look at the landscape, and, the Republicans won't pass
how
anything.
does the state
They say, no, do nothing until we get back, and, our solution is do nothing, it'll go away, and, I grew up in, the boomer, I remember, in the 60s, and I've seen, government be tool for good, and I think,
and follow the whole DEQ show?
Yeah, I know, I agree. I did a lot of work when I was on the national boards for lobbying, Congress, and community development lobbying, and there's a lot of things that we can do.
I think Gretchen has time for one more question. I know
Did you have a
Rod
question?
seems to-
I did have a question. In your literature, you talk about the TPP.
Right.
And I understand enough about economics to understand that having international trade agreements is usually a good way to be able to trade internationally. You say that you're against the TPP. There's a lot of buzz about that. I'm wondering how you would improve it, if you have any thoughts on that at this point. What's the difference between what it is now and what it ought to be?
So, I mean, one of the things is currency. There's no addressing currency manipulation. So I actually talked with, we used to have a Ford plant in Saline, now it's Forcia. I'm pretty close with Ford, people at Ford, because that was our major business. And you know, we used to do tours every year and get to know the people. It's important to understand the business needs. So, and they're opposed to it because it doesn't really address a lot of the currency manipulation. There's a lot of unknowns, so it's not very transparent. So I think there's a lot of challenges to it right now. I'm not necessarily opposed to international trade, but that particular situation is not
The way that it's
beneficial.
drawn.
Right. And NAFTA did really negatively impact our state because of manufacturing. We lost, I think, over 100,000 jobs because I think, if I remember, not 100% sure, but I think it was over 100,000 jobs have been identified as being lost to that because of that.
So if I could do a follow-up, I understand that the state is short about 400,000 welders. That we know already that we need about 400,000 new jobs in welding that we can't meet. And when we can't meet them, the businesses that need them go elsewhere. Any thoughts about that?
I don't. Where did you hear it?
I heard it down in Monroe County somewhere.
I don't think it's 400,000.
Not 400,000.
I'd say it's more. I think it's like 40,000.
40,000.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I added.
Still a good
So
number.
yeah, welding is a big. A lot of our skilled trades left the state when the economy tanked. We need to bring them back. There's a lot of programs at community colleges, actually at the schools. You know, one of the problems that we had when we cut funding to public schools is we had to cut everything was extracurricular. VOTEC is extracurricular.
Right.
So VOTEC was cut, and VOTEC is is basically the entree into skilled trades. So while that is coming back, there is new investment. There's definitely being identified that skilled trades is a really important part of our employment. And I've been meeting with a lot of businesses in the 7th now, and they've identified a lot of skilled trade as tool and die maker. You know, those guys are.
What the heck is a tool and die maker?
Yeah,
Nobody even knows anymore.
Yeah, so they're all. So we do have. I mean, there's a lot of work that we need to do, but you know, I think that there is some money that's being improved a little bit into K-12. So hopefully, in VOTEC and the community colleges, we think there's some opportunities there. They're all like Washington Community College actually is one of the best programs in the state. So. Okay.
I just have a real quick question.
Yeah.
Since we were talking about leaving, I guess, a better future for our kids, essentially, right? What would your plan be, since you want to work for the federal government? What would your plan be of handling national debt? It's big as it sits, and it's proposed to be bigger.
Well, I'm not interested in increasing our debt. That's for sure.
Right. What would you do to decrease it, since it is so much? I mean, the debt payment alone.
Well, there's a lot of different things. I think there's a website called the Fiscal Shift. You should check it out. There's all sorts of different things that you could do. I think I haven't really identified exactly where I would make cuts. I think that's something, or enhance revenues. I think that is something that we have to see what happens next year. Who's in office?
Right, but you guys send them legislation. That's.
Sorry?
You want to be a policymaker. I'm just wondering what kind of legislation you would want to send them. What would you sponsor?
I don't have anything, a bill right now that I would put up right now.
Okay.
No.
I've got one quick question. Did you vote for Clinton or Bernie?
She already.
I already answered that question.
Oh, was it? Was there an answer?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, I really appreciate you guys. I gotta go because I'm actually going to go visit some house. And really appreciate your comment, and we'll be back in the area.
I'll see you again.
For folks that are staying here, I'd like to introduce myself.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Oh,
it's all right.
anyway.
You got it. I understand.
Quite a camouflage you're wearing there, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm
not trying to hide.
member of the Washington County Democratic Party. Milan has 3 precinct delegates.
What's that?
Slots. Only one of them is occupied, so we're looking for folks who want to help organize Milan and get the vote out for Milan. So we need some volunteers.
Did you ever give an answer to that question? Did she give an answer?
No.
Oh, okay.
It was asked.
I didn't hear it.
It was just the first time.
Oh, okay.
So we can't do it anymore. So we need someone to step up and help us really get the vote out. Not on doors, get volunteers.
You too.